Hi there, this is Carla, Always Present Guidance, VM Energy Healing. I am sharing at the urging of my guides some very beautiful messages and insights that came through in the level 2 of my Dragon program. As we wrapped up the program in the last week or so, last week we were scheduled to cover the module on the star children and connect with them. Now, the rainbow children in particular have been in my field for probably about 2 months now. And I know that many in the community are connecting with these new starseed frequency as well. In our gathering, when the children came forward, they each took us by the hand and led us forward to show us some images. One of them was showing me a huge gold castle-like structure that morphed into a crystalline structure, and they showed us essentially what is ahead for our entire collective consciousness. And then this child pointed to our heart space to say, "Look in there." And I'll share some of the messages that came through after that. We have the programming, just like they do, to bring about the future that we choose to anchor into the dimensional spaces we are moving into. And then they stress that message. We have the same programming that they do. We carry the same DNA. The difference in how we're operating and how they are coming forward as the new wave is that we have suppressed this programming through no fault of our own, and yet remembering this nugget of truth is what will help us to transcend the suppression. So the rainbow and crystalline souls that are coming forward with this remembrance intact. This is the difference between their generation and ours, as they are no longer subject to the suppression that we have had to undergo. It is for this reason that they come forward at a very specific time. If we wish to see this in a linear fashion, then they are our future. But they also encouraged us to look at things in a circular and infinite loop of experience rather than a progression through a linear form of time. And then Mrs. Scarlett, there was an interesting portion at this point where I began to see little rainbow dragons around them come forward. And it wasn't the same type of rainbow dragons that I've worked with in the past. These were also new dragons. There were new rainbow crystalline dragons. And they're very much like these rainbow and crystalline children. And these children come with these types of dragons as their guardian dragons. So they are, in a sense, different from us. With us, most of us are connected with elemental dragons, and for very specific reasons. We're of the earth. But these new children are of a different frequency, and they're of the rainbow frequency, and that's why they've been labeled as such. And then they continue, they are the way showers of us, the way showers. So they are the future way showers for us, the current way showers. And this is why in my gathering, they were leading us forward like a tour guide into this new environment and new crystalline frequency. They had us sit with that message for a bit, and we began to feel this gentle but deeply like an elevated form of unconditional love. They call this the rainbow frequency of unconditional love. And then they shared more messages. I'll continue. There are levels, there are degrees of what we call unconditional love. These children bring the rainbow frequency of unconditional love. It is to express the full spectrum of what is embodied as a complete expression of self, of soul that separates from the one unity consciousness, the one source consciousness. Whereas we who are incarnated at this time have brought forward with us in our consciousness but a small portion. And then this is Carla. Then they showed me this, it was like a grid or a wall of rectangular or square pieces. And what they said is that our souls took a piece of this in our pituitary gland, and that's what we brought forward with us. These new children are coming with more of that spectrum. And so that's why their frequency of unconditional love is also different from what we have come to know in our own experiences. I'll share a little bit more. They wanted us to know, they wanted us to acknowledge that we were the brave ones that came before them. And in that sense, they are in a way indebted to us for being the first, second, maybe even third wave, because the first ones especially were the trailblazers, and they know how difficult that has been. And if it were not for our willingness to be the forebringers, if it weren't for us playing that role, the path would be that much harder to allow them in. So they want us to acknowledge that much work has been done to prepare for their coming. It isn't that they are coming forward to rescue us, they are coming to work in partnership with us, for we have set the space and the frequency for them to bring more of what is possible into our dimension. And then they gave us a beautiful activation. And during part of this, our group was in a circle with our heads bowed, and these young but very old and wise souls, they're young souls but also old and wise, they placed their hands on our heads. And when they lifted their hands, I saw a rainbow imprint on each of our heads. And the message I received was, they were saying, this is to remember that they are coming. This is to remember that we are to set the frequency for their arrival. Some are already among us, just as we came first in prior waves, and each generation of starseed is laying bricks on the path. They are assuring us that we don't need to worry too much about how they are to adjust, because they carry more of these codes in their conscious awareness compared to us. And they ended with the message that the best way we can help is to acknowledge and allow what they are bringing forward. So I'll end there. This is Carla. I hope this message finds you if it is meant for you, especially if you are parenting one of these new children. But even if you're not, we are all here to support each other and work in partnership with them. So I hope that this message brings the frequency to help you on your ascension path. And may this bring you even closer to the rainbow frequency as we all work together to bring this into our reality, birthing the new earth and the new earth frequencies. And so it is. If you'd like to learn more about my Dragon Consciousness program, head to the link below for my Dragon Mystery School. I have a few offerings in this space, and my next cohort of Dragon Consciousness Program Level 1 students will be coming together on August 21st for this 8-week program that meets weekly. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a line. Thanks so much for listening. Take care.